Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, man? MD checking in once again. MD checking in once again. What's up, everybody? Real quick. So I wanted to do this prime time to try to clarify some things that I talked about the other night in regards to the affirmative action decision and what I was trying to break down with the opinions. We got Black Son in here. What's up, Black Son?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on?
I can't call it. I can't call it. So yeah. So this particular video again, I don't want to make it a reiteration because we already talked about it the other night. I just want to pinpoint some things so we can try to get some type of clarification. For whatever reason, when it comes to like the legality of what we try to deal with as a group, I ain't gonna take myself up out of the group. Even though I'm an individualist, I ain't gonna take myself out the group as it pertains to this, right? So when we talk about the legality of what defines us as a people, how we can try to rectify some of the disparagement that we faced in this country. I often always go back to the freedman status, right? You know, I talk about the freedman status a lot, and I try to make it make sense to the point where it don't take your blackness out of it. I always say, culturally, I'll always consider myself a black person. That's not ever going to change. But when we're talking about the legality of what we face in terms of what we're trying to get accomplished. Now, for me, is reparation. For another Negro, it might be quote unquote equality based on another means. You know what I mean? That's cool. I ain't got a problem with that. What I'm telling you is it's not going to get done through race. How do I know that? Well, the Constitution says it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like the Constitution, just say you don't like the Constitution. That's where I'm at with it, and we get into this revolving door when it comes to how we feel equality is supposed to be, right? When I give you an example of equality, you make up another excuse. When we think of something hypothetically to try to rectify that situation, you come with something else. You can't get around it because you're dealing with race. The one thing that the Constitution is telling you can't deal with from the basis of equality, it's like you just can't get out of it. You just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why. You know, I try to help. I try to be as bipartisan, for the lack of a better word, as I can, to make people understand. Hey, look, when we dealing with the courts, when we dealing with legislation, when we dealing with government, period, they gonna look at you crazy when you come in there talking about black this, white that. That's just what they're gonna do. Throughout the annals of history, pre-slavery and post-slavery, the writing been on the wall. Reconstruction was, and I always go back to Reconstruction because Reconstruction was the best example on how to do it right. But from a low level collective thought through state courts, state legislation, they fought it when the federal government for that particular time period did their best to seek out a course of action when it deal with emancipated slaves. So let's get into this, right? So shout out to Gang. I hope Gang will come in here. If he don't, at least I hope he understand what I'm getting, right? Because he made a whole bunch of claims earlier today in dealing with what Justice Thomas said. He got in his background talking about how he was a staunch Black Powerite, Black Panther, had the whole setup on, but not until he got to Yale is where he realized I'm being used as a token Negro. Is that who I want to be? Now let me ask you a question, Black Son. Do you get any type of, and I know I don't, do you get any type of fulfillment or a lot of success because you're the one black amongst the white people in your craft, in your industry, job, whatever it may be? Because I don't.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, cool. So why do we feel the need to make sure that we feel inclusive in something that we ultimately think is white supremacy anyway? Like that's crazy to
Right. That's kind of it's an oxymoron.
me. so
Yeah.
white supremacy, yet I feel the need that I must be singled out and made special achievement based on my black.
Mm,
The hell with my merit and
right.
my accomplishment. And that go for both sides, both white and black. Because
Right.
white folks will look at you like a pet. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But it's up to you to swat that down, and then other Negroes will look at you as the white man pet because you're there.
Right.
But then you turn around and shit on the fact that affirmative action was swatted down based on you can't do nothing about race. It's all about, like Martin Luther King said, the content of your character, not the color of your skin. So the hell with what King said. You said, Bobby, I want color of skin because I'm black, and I want everybody to know that I'm black. I don't think it's supposed to work that way. But in any event, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna look at a couple of these passages that we looked at before. Peace, Apex. What's up? I'm gonna look at a couple of these passages what we looked at before in the other video that I did. But only this time we're gonna solidify it with history. That's what I'm gonna attempt to do today. So it ain't gonna be no dispute as to what the position is with Clarence Thomas and anybody else. So let's go back to Clarence Thomas opinion. We're gonna try to pinpoint some things that he said, and then I'm gonna back it up this time. I just ain't gonna talk about it. We're gonna back it up. So let me go. Okay, all right, my screen showing. All right, let me make it full screen this time. I'm gonna make it full screen. I'm gonna blow it up a little bit. Go there. All right, let me go down to Clarence Thomas opinion. Because that's who got called out today. So I'm gonna deal with Clarence Thomas. I ain't gonna deal with nobody else. All right, so this is Clarence Thomas's opinion, right? I'm gonna just read his forwarding message. And let me know if I go out because I'm in another tab, Black Sean.
All right, no problem.
All right, so it says in the wake of the Civil War, the country focused its attention on restoring the Union and establishing the legal status of newly freed slaves. It didn't say black folk at all. It says establishing the legal status of newly freed slaves. The Constitution was amended to abolish slavery and proclaim that all persons born in the United States are citizens, entitled to the privileges and or immunities of citizenship and the equal protection of the laws. Amendments 13, 14. Because of that second founding, our Constitution is colorblind and neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens. Now, in the other thing I said, I don't necessarily agree with the colorblind term only because of the negative connotation. That don't mean it ain't true. Only because I got a thing with negative connotation, so I tend to shy away from it. But I think I'm gonna stop that because I'm putting myself in a precarious position by doing that. So I think I'm gonna stop. I agree with colorblind. I'm not gonna shy away from it just for what I think other Negroes gonna think about me. So Bumper is colorblind at the end of the day, and neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens. That comes from Plessy versus Ferguson. We're gonna get into that. This court's commitment to that equality principle has ebbed and flowed over time. after forsaking the principle for decades, offering a judicial and imprimatur to segregation and ushering in the Jim Crow era. All right, I'm gonna stop right there. Let's go back to colorblind. We're dealing with colorblind. See, a Negro will say, "See, look, they dealing with old adages and you know that's an old Republican tactic, saying that everything is colorblind and they don't see race yet. They doing stuff based off of race." Okay, let's see. Where did this term originate? Talking about the Constitution is colorblind. Where did that come from? Let's find out. Stop that. So I remember I told you to put in your back pocket colorblind and Plessy versus Ferguson. Plessy versus Ferguson, we know that came separate but equal, and the Jim Crow laws and all that. Let me shut my screen again. This history matters, but I know that's small as hell. Let me blow it up. Okay, so this is Plessy versus Ferguson. That's Justice Harlan. To give a quick summary on who Justice Harlan is, he's the only Supreme Court justice that dissented on Plessy versus Ferguson. The only one. Everybody else voted basically for separate but equal. He was the only one. Let's see what he said. I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna jump down a while ago. Mr. Justice Harlan, in respect of civil rights, common to all citizens, the Constitution of the United States does not. Oh damn! I think I made it too big. Okay. The Constitution of the United States does not, I think, permit any public authority to know the race of those entitled to be protected in the enjoyment of such right. Every true man has pride of race, and under appropriate circumstances, when the rights of others, his equals before the law, are not to be affected. It is his privilege to express such pride and to take such action based upon it as to him seems proper. Basically say, hey, look, you can be prideful in your race. You can white power, black power all day long. Ain't got nothing to do with your rights in the Constitution. But I deny that any legislative body or judicial tribunal may have regard to the race of citizens when the civil rights of those citizens are involved. Indeed, such legislation as that here in question is inconsistent, not only with the equality of rights which pertains to citizenship, national and state, but with the personal liberty enjoyed by everyone within the United States. Now let's jump down. I'll jump right here where you're talking about the 13th, 14th Amendment. These two amendments, if enforced according to their true intent and meaning, will protect all the civil rights that pertain to freedom and citizenship, finally, and to the end that no citizen should be denied on account of his race the privilege of participating in the political control of his country. It was declared by the 15th Amendment that the rights of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Let me go down right here. Let me read this. There is a dangerous tendency in these latter days to enlarge the functions of the courts by means of judicial interference with the will of the people as expressed by the legislature or institutions have the distinguishing characteristic that the three departments of government are coordinate and separate. Each must keep within the limits defined by the Constitution, and the courts best discharge their duty by executing the will of the lawmaking power constitutionally expressed, leaving the results of legislation to be dealt with by the people through their representatives. Basically saying, hey, look, a lot of stuff we can leave in the state legislature hand, but it's got to be based on what the Constitution said. Now let's see what he said about separate but equal. In respect of civil rights, all citizens are equal before the law. Humblest is the peer of the most powerful. The law regards man as man and takes no account of his surroundings or of his color when his civil rights are guaranteed by the supreme law of the land are involved. It is therefore to be regretted that this high tribunal, the final expositor of the fundamental law of the land, has reached the conclusion that it is competent for a state to regulate the enjoyment by citizens of their civil rights solely upon the basis of race. So he's saying he can't believe the Supreme Court just basically said that you can equate civil liberties to race. You can't do it. Can't do it at all. Well, I want to go now. This motherfucker kind of long. I'm gonna find it here in a minute. Hold on. Find it here in a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Hold on. All right, let me read right here. It is scarcely just to say that a colored citizen should not object to occupying a public coach. He talking about the case in general terms now, with Plessy versus Ferguson. Occupying a public coach assigned to his own race. He does not object, nor perhaps would he object to separate coaches for his race. If his rights under the law were recognized, but he objects and ought never to cease objecting to the proposition that citizens of the white and black races can be adjudged criminals because they sit or claim the right to sit in the public coach on a public highway. Saying, how the hell are you gonna say separate but equal? But when he goes to say, okay, if it's equal, I'm sitting in the white part of the coach on the train, and then he get arrested. Then that mean it ain't equal. Like, you can't get no more dumb than that. You know what I'm saying? I can't find that shit. I just had it. Like, so maybe you can see better than me. You see where it say colorblind? It's somewhere at the bottom.
I can't see it. You have to blow it up because I'm on my phone.
Oh, you on your phone? Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm gonna find it.
Okay.
I'm probably looking dead at it.
Okay. You on your computer or phone?
Yeah, I'm on my computer. I'm at home.
Tempo. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Damn, I just had it. Oh, okay. Here you go.
Got it. Good.
Okay, it say the white race deems itself to be the dominant race in this country. And so it is in prestige. You're talking about all the good shit white people got at this time. In prestige, in achievements, in education, and wealth, and in power. So I doubt not it will continue to be for all time if it remains true to its great heritage and holds fast to the principles of constitutional liberty. But in the view of the Constitution, in the eye of the law, there is in this country no superior dominant ruling class of citizens. There is no caste here. Our Constitution is colorblind and neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens. Now, keep in mind, this is the lowly Supreme Court judge that voted against Plessy versus Ferguson. So we seem to be at an impasse here, Black Son. So if you're saying that the term colorblindness is a de facto Republican straw man, basically, is what you're saying. Well, I'm showing you back in 18, what was that? I think 1890 was Plessy versus Ferguson. What the hell was Plessy versus Ferguson? Yeah, 1890. Back in 1890, during Plessy versus Ferguson, the only person that stood up for your black ass is saying the same Republican de facto straw man term, colorblind. So we're gonna have to pick a side here. Are we saying that color blindness is something is a term that white folks use to shrug away you talking about race? Or is the Constitution truly colorblind? Like truly? I think Justice Harlan's saying it truly is. And Jim Crow in and of itself, separate but equal, is a pile of shit because it ain't equal at all. He knew it. But hey, I use this term, y'all. This is probably first and last, y'all. White supremacy chose otherwise, and I get it. But the people that truly stand for the Constitution ain't rocking with white supremacy. Justice Harlan just proved that, and he white as hell. Like the radical Republicans during Reconstruction didn't rock with white supremacy, and they also used colorblind. But let's go here. Maybe that ain't enough for you. Let's go here. Oh shit! What did I just do? Oh, okay. All right. Let me play a quick video. It'll be an excerpt of a quick video. I think this is why I want to be at right here. Let me know if you hit a sound black, son.
Or superior ruling class.
Yeah, I hear it now.
Okay. Let me start right.
But solely because the colored race chooses. The court concluded that, quote,
I want to go to the beginning of the court case.
Justice Brown gets to the crux of the issue when he says equality of the two races before the law, end quote. And this
he's gonna talk about Plessy versus Ferguson too.
One drop rule all the way back, dating the case. Homer Plessy was 7/8 Caucasian and 1/8 African blood, as the testimony said, though the Africanness, if you will, was not discernible. You couldn't tell by looking at Homer Plessy that he was part black. He deliberately rode in a railroad car in Louisiana that was only traveling within the state of Louisiana. He deliberately rode in a car for white passengers and actually had to tip the conductor to the fact that, oh, by the way, I'm 1/8 black.
So the conductor didn't even know he was black. Well, quote unquote black. He had to tell.
Homer Plessy, a local citizens committee, actually worked with the railroads because they thought it was expensive to segregate. They didn't want this either. So they worked to try to get this case to the Supreme Court, which they did. You have to remember at this time, even though he was 1/8 black, this country was operating under what's known as the one drop rule. So it didn't matter how Caucasian you were. If you had one drop of a particular other race or ethnicity, that's what they counted you as. And this, you could trace this back. I agree, Florida had a one drop rule all the way back dating to 1866. An important part of the Plessy case was the text of the 1890 Louisiana statute that required separate railway carriages for whites and what they called the colored race. And this is what the text says: that all railway companies carrying passengers in their coaches in this state shall provide equal but separate accommodations for the white and colored races by providing 2 or more passenger coaches for each passenger train, or by dividing the passenger coaches by a partition so as to secure equal accommodations. And it added, and this is very important, no person or persons shall be admitted to occupy seats in coaches other than the ones assigned to them on account of the race they belong to. Justice Brown interpreted the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, quote, to enforce the absolute equality of the two races before the law, end quote. However, he read this to mandate equality of treatment, not equality of outcome or social or public perception.
So basically what they try to do a 3-card money, Black Son. They try to use the 14th Amendment where it says you can't discriminate based on, color, race, blah, blah, blah. And we're saying, hey, we're not discriminating. We're giving equal accommodations, the same as the white man getting. That's how separate but equal start. And we know as Jim Crow went on, the positions of a lot of the accommodations of Black folks at that time was nothing compared to like white folk. But let's continue.
Just because whites must sit in this railway carriage and blacks must sit in that railway carriage, he says this does not impose a badge of inferiority on either race. Moreover, state legislatures, he said, had long been allowed to separate the races in public venues as part of their traditional, what is known as police powers. Justice Brown gives the example, actually, of segregated schools, even in the states where the rights of blacks had been, quote, most earnestly enforced, end quote. So this was a longstanding practice. Justice Brown gets to the crux of the issue when he says the case comes down to whether the Statute of Louisiana is a reasonable regulation. His answer? There must necessarily be a large discretion on the part of the legislature, which he argues is at liberty to act with reference to established usages, customs, and traditions of the people, and with a view to the promotion of their comfort and the preservation of the public peace and good order. Now, all of this, of course, was a euphemism for maintaining the status quo, which, of course, was white supremacy. Given this practice, the court concluded that, quote, we cannot say that a law which authorizes or even requires the separation of the two races in public conveyances is unreasonable or more obnoxious to the 14th Amendment than the acts of Congress requiring separate schools for colored children in the District of Columbia, the constitutionality of which does not seem to have been questioned, or the corresponding acts of state legislatures, end quote. So this reasonableness standard, or what we now call the rational basis test, it actually is the lowest threshold for state action to be considered constitutional or unconstitutional, especially under the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. So the court therefore allows large discretion by the states if they employ, at that time and for decades, racial segregation when regulating public interaction between the races. But what if racial segregation produces a perception that one race is inferior to another, right? A badge of inferiority. Justice Brown addresses this directly in a passage that Chief Justice Earl Warren will later reject to arrive at the opposite conclusion. And this is 60 years later in the Brown case. So here's what the Plessy court concluded. We consider the underlying fallacy of the plaintiff's argument to consist in the assumption that the enforced separation of the two races stamps the colored race with a badge of inferiority. If this be so, it is not by reason of anything found in the act or the statute, but solely because the colored race chooses to put that construction or that interpretation upon it. In other words, any feeling of inferiority as a result of racial segregation is not the product of government policy, as long as that racial policy is equally applied.
Oh, damn, I was on mute. My bad. Can you hear me, Black Son?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So basically what he was saying was when they ruled on Plessy versus Ferguson, that in the concurrences, they were saying, hey, look, we're approving equal accommodations for black people versus white people. Any inclination of oppression or inequality, y'all give it to y'allself. So he basically saying y'all the one saying that y'all it's unequal. We ain't saying that. That was the argument. back then when they ruled on Plessy versus Ferguson.
The court's separate but equal doctrine does not actually make any citizen inferior. Therefore, if someone does feel inferior because of racial classification, that's because that person chooses to interpret it that way. In the one dissenting opinion, the opinion of Justice John Marshall Harlan, he thinks that this reading of the statute is absurd. Everyone knows that this law and other segregation laws are intended to maintain a legal or at least a social hierarchy of whites over blacks. He also doesn't think courts, especially the Supreme Court, should inquire into the so-called reasonableness or wisdom of state legislatures. The only question the Supreme Court should try to answer—
Now you're talking about Justice Harlan.
Does the state law comport with the Constitution? And in this case, it's the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. In his mind, the court recognizes no caste or superior ruling class of citizens. He then cited a concept that was actually first presented at oral argument by the lead attorney for Homer Plessy, and that was a guy named Albion Tourget. At oral argument, he observed, quote, "If justice is pictured blind, then the law at least should be colorblind." Here's how Justice Harlan put it in his dissent. Our Constitution is colorblind and neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens. In respect of civil rights, all citizens are equal before the law. He added, the law regards man as man and takes no account of his surroundings or of his color when his civil rights are guaranteed by the supreme law of the land. So, given so many subsequent cases that relied upon Plessy as precedent, how did the Warren Court in 1954 rule unanimously to reject the separate but equal doctrine? In its short, I think it's 9 pages, plainly written ruling, the new Chief Justice, Earl Warren, argued that America—
How do I keep muting myself? My bad. So I repositioned my question. So how is it that the term colorblind came to be this de facto term of right-wing republicanism in a way to swipe away any talk about race? But I'm showing you the origin of the Constitution is colorblind was built around trying to keep your ass out of Jim Crow. I don't know how that worked. So if we looking at a particular term and downplaying it, does that mean that we wanted Jim Crow? I don't think we wanted Jim Crow. But the dude who tried to keep us out of Jim Crow said the Constitution was colorblind. So which one is it? Are we for or against equality in the country? Because if you're for equality, then by default, you got to be for colorblindness of the law. I mean, am I making sense, Black Son?
Yeah, keep going, bro. Keep going.
I'm just trying to figure out. So if you don't want the law to be colorblind, that means you want to go around the hamster wheel constantly, trying to come up with ways of how racially you're unequal to everybody else. I don't know. I'm just saying. Just a thought. Let me continue.
Americans in the mid-20th century now lived in a different world than that of the 1896 Plessy Court. Most importantly, education was now a leading function of state government. It was now compulsory, supported by a substantial budget, and had become, as Warren put it, the very foundation of good citizenship. So if the state became the educator of its citizens, then it was responsible, according to Warren, not just for the educational inputs, but for what those inputs produced, the educational outcomes. Such an opportunity, Earl Warren,
Now check them out.
where the state has undertaken to provide it, is a right which must be made available to all on equal terms. To get around the Plessy doctrine of separate but equal, Chief Justice Warren leaned on more recent precedents, Sweat v. Painter and McLaurin v. Oklahoma, 1950, to include what he called intangible considerations in the educational process. Not just inputs, material ones like buildings or teacher qualifications, things you could measure.
Now keep in mind,
but
this
also
was
the
done a
learning
few years
environment,
ago.
and this is key.
But it's so poignant to what we're dealing with right now.
As he put it, we must look instead to the effect of segregation. Segregation itself, its effect on public education. He concluded that to separate children from others of similar age and qualifications solely because of their race generates a feeling of inferiority as to their status in the community that may affect their hearts and minds in a way unlikely ever to be undone. So when government segregates children according to race, and this separation produces feelings of inferiority, then government is now responsible for that outcome. It's not simply an interpretation or construction that children choose to put on their racially segregated school. The court ruled that in the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place. Separate educational facilities are inherently unequal. Now, few court observers disputed the decision, the result in this case, but many questioned the reasoning, especially its reliance upon psychological tests to determine the effects of racial segregation upon segregated students. To decide if the Constitution was violated by a government use of race on the basis of feelings generated seemed like a dubious basis for determining if a person's rights under the Constitution were infringed. Think about it. What if a segregated school didn't generate a feeling of inferiority? Would there be no violation of the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment? And if not, did Brown actually overturn Plessy? Now, if Brown decided that government could not pay attention to race, couldn't separate students on the basis of race in K through 12 schools, public schools, the second case involving education ruled that government could use race in higher education, not to separate, but to promote diversity, what they call the educational benefits that flow from a racially diverse student body. So we now shift our discussion of government use of racial classifications from segregation or desegregation to the policy known today as affirmative action. It should go without saying that using race in a constitutional way means you're not operating according to a colorblind constitution. We'll see how the Supreme Court justifies under the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. The key case is actually two cases in 2003 involving the University of Michigan, their law school and their undergraduate university. They're the cases of Grutter v. Bollinger and Gratz v. Bollinger, respectively. Now, the Supreme Court upheld affirmative action as it was practiced in the law school, but it rejected affirmative action that operated differently at the undergraduate university. The key precedent for Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, who took all the Supreme Court affirmative action cases when she was on the court, her key precedent was a case that had been on the books for 25 years, the 1978 case of Regents v. Bakke. Unlike the Brown decision, which only relied on the 14th Amendment back in 1954, O'Connor's opinion drew from two provisions of the Constitution, and in this she was following Justice Powell.
Okay, yeah, I'll be on early.
The Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, for sure, but also because it dealt with higher education, the free speech clause of the First Amendment. Reasonableness or the rational basis test was the prevailing court standard until about World War II, when two cases dealing with Japanese internment, the Hirabayashi case in 1943 and the Korematsu case.
So he about to go into, and I ain't gonna play this whole thing. He about to go into how they used the First Amendment of all amendments to re-solidify affirmative action in that Bakke case, what I was talking about the other day.
Right.
Crazy as hell.
Hello? Oh, shit. Indeed.
In 1944, these led the court to adopt a new, more rigorous measure of constitutionality when it came to race. Racial classifications by government were now considered by the court immediately suspect. They weren't categorically unconstitutional. They've never ruled that. But they were immediately
Talking about strict scrutiny.
And subject to, as the court put it, the most rigid scrutiny. So they're moving off of reasonableness and ratcheting it up a bit. This is now known as the strict scrutiny test. And it's a test that has two prongs, both of which have to pass in order for a government use of race to be considered constitutional. Number one, it has to serve a compelling state interest. It has to be a priority of the state government, and that also includes the federal government now. Secondly, it has to be narrowly tailored to meet that state interest. So you have a constitutionally permissible end that you're looking for and a corresponding constitutional means to securing that end if you're using race. So at the University of Michigan, affirmative action was used, again, one way at the law school and another way at the undergraduate university. The difference between the two policies produced the different outcomes, as O'Connor and then Rehnquist in the Gratz case applied strict scrutiny. So what were they doing at the law school? They were looking at students according to race, especially those that they considered underrepresented minorities. We'll use the acronym URM. Okay, so they would favor URMs to produce what they called a critical mass or meaningful representation of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And if you listen to the oral arguments, I remember being on the Interstate 66 on my way to DC and actually listening. I think this was one of the first court cases where they actually, I think this was on NPR, they actually let you listen to what was actually being said. The Michigan attorney was fantastic. Whatever they paid her, they should have given her a raise because Scalia and the conservative justices were leaning in on her. They were trying to see if they could say that that Michigan was employing a quota. And they said, critical mass. Could you define critical mass for us? And she said, yeah, meaningful representation of URMs. And they're like, what's meaningful representation? So if she used an absolute number or a fixed percentage or a narrow band that they were looking for, they would have lost. Even the liberals on the court would have said, you can't do that. You know what she did? She just said critical mass. She just bounced back and forth, critical mass, meaningful representation, until the justices gave up. So critical mass. Second, the state of Michigan argued that it had a compelling interest to diversify the student body in order to enhance the education of its law students. So how do you get educational diversity? Free exchange of ideas. You can use race to help promote that. Lastly, it claimed that its pursuit of a critical mass was not a quota, which had been disallowed in the precedent of Bakke 25 years earlier. Now, because the case dealt with higher education, right, colleges and grad schools like law schools, Justice O'Connor drew from Powell's Bakke opinion to argue that not one but two constitutional provisions, as I mentioned earlier, needed to be balanced or reconciled to determine if the law school's use of race was justified. Now, we've got the Equal Protection Clause, which I'm sure you're tired of me mentioning, but they're all over it. You have on the one hand the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. But then you also have the First Amendment's free speech clause. Now, why? Courts have
Check this
long
out.
treated colleges and universities as a special niche in constitutional adjudication. The nature of education, they believed, requires academic freedom. And so, what do they say? They respected the university's need, the law school in this case, to determine how best to promote the exchange of ideas necessary for the education of their students. If racial diversity could help in this regard, the court was not going to second guess. This is important. They were going to defer to Michigan's educational autonomy, as they called it, as it pursued what they considered to be a compelling state interest.
So let me stop you right there. So basically what he's saying is, under the clause of the First Amendment, these schools of higher education was able to basically do three-card money, just like the three-card money was used in Plessy versus Ferguson to use basically blacks in a diversity campaign from an ideological standpoint of free speech in the country. What's the main thing that Republicans say today? The colleges and the universities are breeding grounds for liberty. Am I right, Black Son? The reason that they
That's
do
right.
this, and affirmative action in its menial turn is using black folks for cannon fodder in a sense to promote a larger ideology of progressivism. Period. He just said it. Like he said it in a better way than I could, but that's what he said. And that's what they use to solidify affirmative action throughout the year. Period. So if you out here trying to promote or you're trying to basically see the striking down of affirmative action as a loss for black folks, I would then argue, okay, so what's your end game with affirmative action? And according to what I heard Yanga say, Yanga said it's there to basically give black folks that are in a position of merit a chance anyway. So it's like a lottery for black folks. I would then argue to say, why would we need that at all? If we saying that our merit justifies our admission to said school, then that's when you got to hit the red button, white supremacy. Well, wait a minute. White supremacy in and of itself is the one that's saying that it's not colorblind, but the people that's fighting for equality within the Constitution saying it's colorblind. What you say? Okay, yeah. You need to go on mute. Okay. All right, so that's what we're dealing with. So, like I said, man, in an effort for you to try to come to any type of terms of you trying to justify what you're trying to say, you're just going around in a hamster wheel talking about race all day.
Not only going around in a hamster wheel, but they believe white is superior. They believe in white supremacy.
That's what I think now.
That's what it is. Because these people they don't believe the individual can make great strides on their own. And so they want to do the group thinking, the whatever you call that. I love that word that you always use.
Level collective thought.
Right. And they trying to apply that. And I see a bunch of what I see is constantly, if you sit up here and say white supremacy and all that as an excuse, you believe white people are superior.
Right. And you downplay the law that say it's not.
Absolutely.
Downplay it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm trying to bypass the white man. I just want to go directly to the law, but
right.
You got to put the white man in front. No white. You know what I'm saying?
It's the three-card money in itself, and they don't even. I don't know if they see it or not, or if it's deliberate. But yeah, I got to start looking at people sideways when they use that damn word, man. Because it's like, yo, what the hell? You believe white people are superior? After
Right.
you keep saying that, when blacks have shown constantly, time and time over, that we've made strides. We don't need no affirmative action shit. That's bullshit.
Right. Hey, Apex, you want to come on, man? The link in the chat, bro. If you want to come on, man, the link in the chat. But yeah, I totally agree, man. And the funny part about it is, it's not white folks that's jumping in between the law and black folks. It's black folks putting the white man in front, in between the law. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because all the pushback that I get is another Negro pulling the white man in front of them, saying, "Hey, look, this is what we got to deal with first." No, what? I want to go straight to the law.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I don't want to deal with the white man.
Clearly.
You know what I'm saying? Let me add. Apex, what's up, man? Long time no hear from, man.
Yo, MD, yo, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Good to hear you, man. Good to see you.
Hey, man. Hey, it's been a long time, man.
A long time, yo. I love these conversations, B. I just want to ask.
You need to come over and join us more, man. This is what I'm on now, man.
This is what I'm on too. I'm on this too, B. I'm on this. This is all I talk about. But yo, this is how I see it, man. And I don't want to derail the whole thing because I have a different approach.
Yeah, I know.
And I think, but I mean, I think we need to have these conversations more. But it may have changed a little bit. But let me say this. I don't go by races. I think race is a scam.
Yeah.
I think race is fake, like a fake gold chain. It's there, but it's fake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a fake gold chain. What does the Bible say? The Bible says he comes back to judge the nations, aka nationalities. Right now, if you're in my house, how can you tell me where to put my furniture? Whose house is this? Where are we? Is this our house or is this their house? And we got to also understand this is a multi-dynamic type thing. Do you think that the French people and the German people don't separate when they have to? We both call them.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
We both call them white. I think whenever we engage in white and black, we're like in kindergarten compared to the rest of the world, because we the only people that don't understand. This is a battle royal dynamic out here. It's not white and black. That's the dumbest thing of all, in my opinion.
Right.
It's about who's in power, and it's all about UN representation. So if you do something to a couple years ago, a Chinese guy got beat up on a plane, and China put pressure on the United States. It was like, yo, I mean, I'm elaborating. I'm not saying this happened exactly like how it is, but I'm because it became an issue. It was on the news and everything. They showed the Chinese guy get beat up on the plane, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And they was like, yo, what's up? Now, because China or Chinese people are backed by China and China is on the UN, they could put power and pressure on the United States. What y'all doing to our people over here? What are y'all doing? What's going on? Do we gotta do some? Do we gotta get some sanctions on the board? Do we gotta bring this up? What's going on? And that's one thing that we don't have. We don't have UN representation. You see what I'm saying? And they say, "Oh yes, you do to America. America is an empire. It is not a nation. An empire is an amalgamation of other nations that you take over. And America is not that exactly, but it's generally that. They call it the melting pot." So
right. I was just about to ask you that. Were you basing that off of America not having a quote unquote native nationality? But I see you base that off that.
Well, America's the native nationality is supposedly English, right? But you know, it's all about the power structure right now. So when you're in the higher levels of power and you reach a certain level of wealth and power in the government and in society, then you can team up with other people that have power. And once you can sit at a table and they have to respect you, then you got something. And what I mean by respect is based off of power. Because like right now, if I know I can beat you and you know you could beat me, my power is going to give me leverage in any negotiation. Because if there's nothing you could do to me to stop me from doing something to you, and you feel what I could do to you, now I have leverage. So it's all about the power that you can maintain. You could gather the power, build it up, keep it, and the longer you keep it, the more leverage you have. So right now, black people don't have no leverage. Freaking the the alphabet crew, they got more power, but that's a smoke screen, because there are other agendas that's going on right now that want the alphabet crew to be in power, because they don't really have the power. They're being propped up.
Yeah, I agree with that. But let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
So like when you talk about black people in America, is it important? Because this is a melting pot after all. We got other black people that's here too. Uh-huh. Is it important to specify that? And that way you can, and I like I said, over here, like we just deal with like legality. You know what I'm saying? We deal with legal stuff.
Uh-huh.
Is it important to have a specificity in terms of who we dealing with as far as the disparagement of black Americans as opposed to any other type of black person? Because I know you of Jamaican descent. Half.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to legalities and everything, look, the only thing that matters when it comes to legalities is if you get caught. If you break the law and you don't get caught, then the law don't matter. So right now, if they put enough roadblocks in your way from you trying to execute justice to where it defuses you to even try, which they do. They do this all in corporate America. It's like, for you to complain and to write agreements against something, these people are so well insulated that you don't even want to try. You get what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, the word escapes me. You get defunct. You feel like it's hopeless. And this is what they do. If you don't have power,
become indifferent about it.
Yeah. So when you talk about the law now you got to prove it. But if they put if they put red tape and yellow, if they put all of these things to roadblock you from attempting to prove it, then the law don't matter.
I see. That's what we disagree.
No. So, I mean, okay, whatever you may be right. It may be the law, but now you got to prove it. Now you got to
You got to prove it. You definitely got to prove it.
Now you got to get a lawyer. Now you got to get a judge that's not scared to go against the system. Good luck.
Well, that's cool, but in the sense of the legality and proving it, part of proving it is proving, just like you said, we're dealing with different nationalities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right about that. But to prove it, we need power, and it's all about power. B. It's not about it's not about rally and protest.
No, it sure ain't.
If you don't got power to bring leverage to a specific negotiation or a trial or anything like that to try to claim your rights. Now you got rights. Now you got to prove that you deserve them and those rights are for you. And you got to do all of these things, right?
I agree. But what I'm saying is, in doing that, there's going to be a pinpoint of a particular group that's to access those rights.
Yeah, people of power. It's the people of power. They don't. You think a French guy and a German guy who are the head of a corporation or whatever, you think they're gonna say, I'm not gonna help that German guy because I'm French, or he gonna say, yo, he got power like me, let's team up and let's take over? Because now it don't be about nations, it be about class.
Okay, so with that being said, should black people do the same thing? Should a black American team? See.
But see, that's the whole thing is that we don't understand power. So when you don't understand power, then you can't do it. And if you don't got leverage, you can't do it either.
What leverage? So okay. So let's break that down. When you say leverage, what specifically are you talking? Like
well,
what leverage do I need? What leverage do I need to feel like I'm full in this country? Like I have
the long road to leverage. The long way is to get votes, a whole gang of them. And that means that you have to bring the people together, which they have psyop operations to make sure everybody's divided. You see what I'm saying? So going that way, it's a long and begrudging, hardcore road to try to get everybody together. And you have to go through all of the propaganda of the governments, all of the propaganda of these interests and people, even amongst the powerful. They have infights. It's never about black and white.
Okay, got it. So, hey, real quick. Last time I talked to you, Apex, I think last time I talked to you, we were talking about Trump. You said you was voting for Trump. So where is the teaming up with that?
Well, I voted for Trump because he's better than the opposition.
Okay, so what truly are we talking about? Are we talking about policy? Or are we talking about trying to overthrow something? Because I ain't trying to overthrow nothing.
Well, Trump's policy is better, and two, Trump is a man, meaning he's not a liberal. I believe that if you are a liberal, that your manhood should be in some type of question. Because
you hear that, Black Son?
No, and the reason why I say
Amen to that, brother.
The reason why I say this is because men don't operate like that. Men be like, yo, it's power time. It's time to take shit. There ain't gonna be no, let's have a committee. And no, man. When it comes time for power, you gotta make it be power for real. The real power, not the fake power. The fake power in this country is the votes. And I'm not saying it's fake like it doesn't exist. I'm saying it's fake like a fake gold chain. It's there. You can wear it, but it's not gonna. It's not. You can't. You're not getting a good appraisal on it.
E, what's up, E?
Hey, peace, y'all. Yeah. I'm just sitting back listening, man. How y'all doing, bro?
Peace, man.
You know, it's all good. It's all good, man. Some gonna get you crunk, man, in a minute, man. I know it's coming. It's coming.
And it's like, yo, check this out, B. I mean, I'm Bible based, right? You know, you ever heard in Revelation of Laodicea? You know what Laodicea means?
Nah, break it down.
Laodicea means people's rights and people's opinions. Don't that sound like a liberal to me? To you?
I mean, I like rights.
People's rights and people's opinions, right? So the church of Laodicea, Jesus is knocking at the door, meaning he ain't in there. Because if you got rights, who you got rights against? God? Oh yeah, the alphabet crew will tell you, oh, we have a right to get married. We have a right. Who are they bucking? The woman. They're like, oh, we got rights. I'm independent. Who they bucking? They gonna say they.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. So you saying now we're talking about a governmental system, right?
Yes.
So
the liberals.
Go ahead.
I'm saying the liberals they're fighting. They want rights. They want rights against God. Ultimately, they want to be able to have abortions. They want to be able to they want equal rights for everybody, even though we're not all equal when it comes to gender roles. We're different. Everybody.
Right, son, there go your conservative right there. I'm
a conservative in a sense. Like, of course, I'm Bible first, and there are a lot of things that the conservatives they do, but of course they are evil people and everything. There's only one man that ever walked this earth that was righteous. Everybody else is pretty much a piece of trash. It's just that some people know that they're a piece of trash and they know where to go to get cleaned up. And other people, they love the filth and they don't want to get cleaned up. They wanna wallow in the mud in the sin, and they love it. Me, I want to get cleaned up. You see what I'm saying? So and one more thing, if something is worth fighting for, you fight for it, even though you're not perfect.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go back to government. So you believe rights are given through God, not the government.
Yes.
Or let me rephrase that. That sounded kind of crazy. You believe rights are not something that's independent of said person. You believe it's through an entity.
Yeah, our rights come from God and not government, and the government wants you to think that the rights come from them, and that's
so who's protecting the rights then, Apex?
Well, what rights? We got to see the rights to do what. Like it depends on what the rights are.
Whatever you choose to do, who's protecting those rights? Whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent.
Like everybody has a right to their own opinion. That's something that God wants because He gives us a mind. We all got our own different minds. And, like an axe murderer doesn't have the right to kill me, even though he's mad at me. So then I don't agree with that. So what kind of rights are we talking about?
How about right to bear arms?
Right. That's in
the Bible.
Those are the rights. You're talking about that nobody has a right to interact with another person. That's not a right. Nobody has a right to affect another person. That's not a right. When I say right, I mean the right to live freely in said government. Who protects that right? Despite whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent.
What do you mean freely? That's the thing. It goes on like when you say free, like do you have a right to have a alphabet marriage? No.
Is that affecting the public at large?
You damn right it is. It's called the wrath. The wrath of God. The wrath of God's gonna come through. Yeah.
Well, from a public standpoint, Apex, how is that? How is two dudes getting married affecting me and you?
You're sinning against God from a government, so you're gonna have to judge that same entity. And I'm going to be a part of that.
You see that man on the top left? That's Black Son. That's we run this thing together. He's an atheist. How does two gay people affect him?
Well, it's not going to affect him.
Well, so what are we talking about?
But I will say this, MD.
Go ahead.
If y'all don't mind, I will
go
say
ahead, man. We're running it.
Yeah. It does affect. That's why Ron DeSantis. That's why he got laws in place down there in Florida.
That's different.
It does affect when your children are in school.
Well, that's different. That Ron DeSantis is talking about outright drag queens going in your school teaching your kids. That's affecting people. Yeah. Two people getting married ain't affecting me. So you're talking about an ideology that's trying to be pushed. I agree. There's an ideology trying to be pushed on the next generation. I get it. That need to be stopped. But if you gay, do what you do, as long as it don't affect the public at large.
Copyright infringement, like you're in a place. Oh yeah, my wife, and then some other girl says, "Oh, my wife too." And it's like, huh? Nah, we're not the same. They wanna. Now that could go in many different ways. Like when it comes time for doing taxes over a span of the population, and now the marriages are going to double because of this. The numbers are going to get all kind of bluey. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're saying, "Hey, I'm a gay person, right? And I think I should get more tax rights," so they may, it may affect the numbers on a broad scale. Now I don't know that to be true or not, but it's possible.
Okay, so I mean, if you married, regardless if you're gay or straight, like if you're married, you get certain tax privileges based off of that.
Do you? I'm not certain, but
I'm not. I ain't married, so I know you can file jointly.
Yeah,
which is an advantage. So two men should be able to file jointly.
I know, like right now, when I file my taxes, I get hit horribly, B. Like it's like,
tell me about it.
And then when I see the women, they get hit. Oh, they don't get hit at all.
Oh wow. Okay, so
and those are the single women with kids. So I don't know if that's going to go with the married people. And then now, so that and then I don't know if there's going to be another extra bonus if you have a homosexual or any type of same-sex marriage. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't know how those numbers pan out. If there's a difference, then that means that it's going to affect people. If it's not, then I'm reaching.
I got you. Hey, yeah, you definitely a conservative.
I'm Bible first, man, and it's like
Oh, that's conservative.
Yeah, but then they gotta, there's a lot of things that they don't hold fast to a lot of stuff too. But the general stance, yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, you still listen to G. Craig Lewis?
Of course.
Okay. What G. Craig Lewis say he is?
He sides with the conservatives.
Okay. All right.
I mean, he doesn't say, "Hey, I'm a conservative," but he's like, "Yo, you better check out who you vote." And because the past of the Democrats and how they the Klan, and you heard what Biden was saying when he was younger, when he was in Congress, calling them jungle people in Congress and everything. And then you ain't never seen that with Trump. Trump was taking pictures with Shabba Ranks and Super Cat. That don't sound like no racist person to me. He got racist as soon as he became a president. Like that, he waited to be 70 years old to become a racist.
And
he was in rap videos.
And don't forget he pardoned goddamn Lil Wayne and goddamn the other guy Kodak. Don't forget that shit.
Man, Black, stop it. Man, stop it. Stop.
Yeah, there you go. Stop
it.
That don't sound like no racist.
See, man. See, I ain't been on here but 10 minutes, but god damn.
Oh, you a liberal?
God,
damn. Go ahead, go ahead. You got the flow. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
Blacks and know he get underneath my skin, man. God damn.
That's a fact, though.
No, I'm gonna let y'all rock out. I'm gonna let y'all rock.
You speak your mind, man. It's America, man.
Yeah. So basically, what we're talking about is, again, we dealing with certain policies. First of all, we gotta understand, in this game that we playing called government, the rule of the game says that you can't do anything based off of race. The reason that rule was put there is because something was done based off of race, i.e. slavery. So now we gotta figure out, okay, as Black Americans, we can't do this based off of race. How do I express the disparagement inflicted on a people post-slavery? Because I ain't never said it wasn't there. I'm saying is through individual thought, minimalize what you're saying is done to a group collectively and make it a status amongst a certain group of people, i.e. the freedom. So how can you get something done from a class action level without putting race into it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think what they did, the biggest thing that racism did to us, or white supremacy, I would say, is that they destroyed our family. And once you destroy the family, then it's going to be it's like water going down the drain. Eventually, you're going to fall, man. And right now, you look at the average Black woman, the average Black woman that doesn't know their father has a disdain for Black men, regular Black men. You literally have to have a girl face, or you gotta be rich, or you gotta have some type of status for them to even look at you like you're a normal person. If you don't have none of those, you're not even normal to them. They look at you like they are extremely better than you. Like you ain't shit, nigga, type thing. You know? On average, the average girl you pass by in the street, they have disdain for the average black man. And they did that to us. They did that to us all the way back from, slavery days. I know some of you guys might not believe the Willie Lynch letters, but man, it sounds real to me. They say that the source of it, it's not that. Okay, that's fine. But when you look at the descriptions, I'm like, Dad, when did this come over here? Whenever the date was for the Willie Lynch letter, Dad, this is dang sure accurate.
Yeah, like it ain't no, it's not verified, but it's a lot of stuff in the Willie Lynch letters that have eerie similarities to shit.
What we call racism is not going to solve our problem. What's going to solve
I agree.
Is family. We got to get the black family together, and we got to resurrect the black family. That's where it's going to start. Not me going for a job. Why we got enough money going through us? We don't even need to go to them to get a job. But because they brainwash us so horribly, we think we got to go to them. This is their house, but we got enough money to make our own house.
So when you keep saying their house, so you consider America, just in general terms, white supremacy land? What you're saying?
Yeah, it's the house of the wealthy, and we're living off of their graces, basically.
So what do you consider wealthy?
Well, billionaires and up. The people that sign off on the laws, the people that keep the status quo going, the people that own the media and all of that stuff. We are living off of them right now, basically.
So okay. So you're talking about capitalism, right?
Yeah. Whoever the different parties, they all it's dynamics, man. It's not just the white people or the deep state. There's a whole bunch of different things going against each other. It's a battle royal. So this group will go against this group, and that group will go against that group.
Go
ahead.
Yeah. I don't want to cut your wisdom, but let me ask MD this. MD, do you think America is a white supremacist country?
No.
Okay.
I think it's white supremacy in America. Is it a white supremacist country? No.
What do you mean by white supremacy? So right now, a German and a Frenchman is going to team up against the blacks? Because everybody here, every white person here ain't English.
The biggest white ethnic group in the country is German.
Yeah.
So when I say white supremacy, I'm not talking about a system. I'm talking about a collective thought. Is white supremacy.
Okay. All right, I hear you on that.
It ain't a system. I don't go by a system.
Well, but see, the thing about that is, I just think that it's a devaluement. Like right now, if you look at us, we don't value ourselves. So when you see somebody else who values themselves, we're gonna say that's white supremacy, because we do dumb things and they don't. So because
now you're talking.
So because the stuff that we do that's dumb, we get mad at them when they do smart things. So it's like, wait a minute. And so now we're crying, oh, white supremacy. Now there is white supremacy when they destroyed our family. They systematically destroyed our family, so that now they done cut our legs from under us. So it's like a family tree. What are you gonna do with our roots? What are you gonna do with our roots, man? I don't even know who my father is. I never met my father in my life. You know how many people can say that, man?
It's a lot of us, man. Hell, my dad didn't give a damn about me like that. It's a lot of us. But it's like you cherry picking though, Apex.
Okay, yeah.
You using a lot of conservative talking points and basing that off of systematic racism, but not the stuff that you define as as from up under the rock, so to speak.
Well, I think the racism you're talking about, I would describe it as our inferiority complex.
I agree with that part. I agree.
And I think our inferiority complex is much more now. So when you see a group of people acting dumb, you're gonna do. Oh no, make sure they don't get in here. That's gonna be a knee-jerk reaction. You see somebody banging at your door, let me in. I want some crack. You're gonna batten down the hatches and you're gonna get your weapon,
right? Because
somebody's banging at my door. So right now they don't know when we're gonna turn on them. Like what I mean by that is like you look at corporate America right now, and a lot of black women are literally slowly destroying corporate America. It's not even about business anymore. It's literally about, okay, we gotta prove that we're not racist, and that's more important than the business.
so they're using black women as weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, that combination of that, and then the black woman, they don't know when the black woman's going to turn on them. So when they start saying, "Oh, equal rights," what they're really saying is, "I'm mad because we're dumb and you're not."
Wow. Hey, that part I agree with. But like I said, you can use that for that particular situation, but you can't use it for the black family though.
Yeah, look, right now, even at my job, it's like they be saying the racist stuff, but we be doing dumb shit. So then when they don't do dumb shit, like I said before, we get mad. How come you gave them these rights? Anybody can say that. That's the easiest thing in the world to do, is to accuse somebody of something that's slightly false. That's easy. So I'm going to accuse you of racism. But the racism is we don't value ourselves. So we are, quote unquote, racist against our own self.
I agree. Like I said, you ain't going to get no argument from me about that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
But I would argue that you can use that same prototypical ideology with the black family.
Now, let me also say this.
Whose fault is it that dudes ain't getting with women and married? Ain't nobody stopping you from doing that.
Right now, it's our fault. But there was a lot of predatory entities that targeted us in the past. Like, for example, what they did to hip hop. They targeted us. We just wanted to get out the hood. So they made us sign a contract, and we sold out our freaking birthright so that we could get on. So we use temporary, we sacrifice permanent money with temporary money, so we could go to the hood and floss and flash against other poor black people.
Mm-hmm. So we dumb as hell, like you said.
Yeah,
because nobody put no gun to nobody's head and say, hey, Negro, sell this crack.
Yeah.
Hey, Negro, leave the house, leave your baby mama. Nobody forced us to do any of that.
A&Rs, you ain't see these new girls freaking Sexy Red and Glorilla. You see the stuff they be talking about, man?
Yeah, bro, yeah.
My pussy.
But like I said, again, nobody's forcing a gun down no female throat to listen to Glorilla.
But see, that's the opposite effect. They forcing some money down their throat.
So it's capitalism. Let's get back to capitalism. Capitalism.
Yeah. So it's like money is like the anti-gun.
Okay, so I'm going somewhere, Black Son. I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
So ultimately, it's capitalism at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. And we sell ourselves out, and then they know that we can't help selling ourselves out.
Okay, give me the system that's going to change all that.
The family.
Well, the family ain't no system. Give me the economic system, or just give me the societal system in general. That's going to change all that.
It's a spiritual thing. I can't tell you some type of strategy to get out of that. Some type of financial strategy. I can't do that, because right now, if you don't have dignity within yourself and your family and your community, then it's just downhill. You're just going down the drain slowly, man.
So it's not capitalism, then.
It's a whole bunch of stuff, man. You can't just put your finger on one thing. this is a multifaceted a war, man. It's spiritual, it's political, it's emotional. You know what I'm saying? It's so many different things, man. You can't. It's a target. To target one.
Now go ahead. Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
To target one, you're gonna neglect the other stuff that needs to be addressed too. So even talking about it, you have to do it with patience, so you could have a good balance on what you need to target, nice and slow. You go too fast, you might jump over an important factor that's hurting us, and if you neglect that, then it's not going to be complete, man. Then you're going to have to go back and get that part. So it's going to. The only thing that the common denominator is family. If you get a man that can love his woman enough to take care of her, and then the woman that's going to respect that man like how she loves and respects her father, then that man's going to want to work, because now he has something to he has motivation. Motivation is a very underrated thing, man. If you get somebody the right motivation, they'll do anything for you, man.
Okay, so it's not the system then. It's just the social structure.
Yes, ultimately it is a system too. It's a whole bunch of stuff, man. But ultimately, it's the social structure which is included in the system. Because right now they're using things like psychological obsolescence. Right now, black women makes them so much money because they're not married. You know, like if you're single, you're gonna spend much more money than when you're married. And they know this, and they count on it. They have financial strategies to make sure that we stay single, and you know, and dumb. So we're gonna spend more money. We're gonna be chasing the Jordans and whatever the thing is. Be chasing European name brands and all of these things because we have no dignity.
So basically what you're saying is we are too stupid to have any type of individual responsibility.
We don't know. Yeah, we're powerless, and we love being powerless.
So do we base that dumbness on our individual thought, or do we like to do it collectively?
Well, because we don't do it collectively, we don't do it collectively at all, especially nowadays. Well, we're all individual for the most part, and even on the individual level, it's like we don't have the discipline. Like there are people that are doing it individually, big time, but because we don't have a concept of what power is, nobody can be power on their own. You need a group of people behind you, right? You unify.
I don't know what power you talk about though. Oh, Apex. Like what power? Like what power do I need to be successful here in America?
Well, one, you need you're gonna need some type of backing. Like I said, most of these other nationalities, they have representation in the UN. So if something happens and the United States starts bugging against the Japanese is gonna have something to say about that in the UN. Like, yo, what are you doing to our people? It's gonna be on the world stage. Whereas with us, we don't have representation. There ain't nobody in Africa continent.
Whoa.
Hold on. You Jamaican though, Apex.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like in Jamaica, it's not going to be like, yo, stop treating them Jamaicans bad over there.
No.
Go ahead, Black Son. Go ahead.
No, we got representation. I don't know if he told you about the people that went down to Mexico. It was a sister and there was 3 brothers, right? And the cartel mistaken them for Haitians. Once they realized, well, 2 of them got killed. They got shot down, but one brother got his leg shot up. He survived, and the sister, they didn't do nothing to her. But what I'm getting at is that once they found out they were Americans, they accommodated them. In fact, they tried to stitch the man's legs back up and shit. So they did have representation. Once they found out they're Americans, the cartel's whole attitude changed.
Not only that, but
hey, I always like what I always like what MD said a couple of weeks back when they was over there in I think that was what was that, Somalia or Ethiopia? He said the first thing you gonna say, I'm American.
So I think you're downplaying American citizenship right now, AP. That's what I think you're doing.
Yeah, but
that's the power that I would say your
you know what
how's that going to help you here? How's that going to help you here?
You know what I think he's saying, and I could be wrong, but love start at home. When you take care of the family, when you take care of your kids, that's what drives our society. You know, we could talk about capitalism, we could talk about all this and that, but man, when you take care of your family, you know what I'm saying? Man, you hard, you tough.
Hey, I agree with that. You ain't gonna get no flack out of me. But what I'm saying is, where does that come in line with the ghost system that's trying to keep you down? If you're doing what you have to do individually within your own confines with your family,
how are they going to stop you?
Huh?
Yeah, you were just saying is how they going to stop you if you're doing everything you're supposed to do. I agree.
Okay, but that's individualism, though. Hey,
you're right. You're right about that. But then we got to come together as a community and be like, okay, my house good, my house good, my house good over here. Now let's get this block together. Now let's get these 2 blocks together. Now let's get these 10 blocks together. And now let's not only control our streets, but let's also start voting. So now we got a multifaceted attack in our favor.
That's political aspect. I also agree with that.
Because so
it's not the system at all then.
Voting is the long road. Voting is the long road, but it's still necessary because it kind of can scare the politicians, and so that we could strong arm them like, yo, we don't do this, we ain't giving you no votes. See what I'm saying? So it's a multifaceted thing. Multifaceted, yo. We are lacking, but they attacked at our family, like Lyndon Johnson, the Great Society type things going on. They got the black man out the home back in the 60s and 70s to where they used to send social workers to go check their houses. That crippled us, man.
I feel you. And like I say, a lot of stuff I don't disagree with. The aspect of the government itself, I think if we play a better role in that, we'll be all right.
We gotta come together. Our women, their minds are so gone. They are worried about everything. They're worried about themselves. Even with their kids, they're like, yo, bump that. I gotta get mine. They'll be like that above their kids.
I feel you. Yeah, you definitely conservative. You need your own conservative show. What you need? You conservative as hell.
Yeah, you need a show on the arena.
Hey, I'm look, man, I just like talking. I like talking about these type of things, grown man conversation. And we're in a melting pot. America, there's so many different things coming together, and we forgot that this country was founded pretty much on God type principles. Pretty much.
Hold up.
Yeah. I don't think Black Son agree with that.
Well, like when they talk about democracy and all of these things, even like when it comes to the idea of having councils and everything, they got that from God. They got that from, when Moses and them, when how he had to set up his people to help the people, to help him lead. That came from God.
But Gideon, America was formed as an opposite pushback because America didn't want no more kings. They didn't want no more. Well, it was stages. So in England, King Henry, he didn't want the church to control him, so he broke away from the church. And then the people here in America, England, France, and Germany.
What church? What church? See, the
Roman Catholic.
The Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, see, there you go. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's not get this like Jesus ain't white. God ain't white. God is not a color. He's beyond that. He's an extra dimensional being. We can't even understand him. To say God is a color is the most dumbest thing of all, man.
So wait a minute. So I'm saying, but their expression of God was the Anglican Church. What's wrong with that?
No, well, their expression of God was the Anglican Church, but then what did they change? It's like, first off, God didn't even want to be identified. Like he said, you couldn't even paint a picture of him. Jesus made sure he didn't get no pictures of him. He did that for a reason. It's not about color. And actually, when to become a Christian, you become another nationality, anything. I'm not black no more. I'm Christian. Christian is a nationality.
Well, I'm saying what I think Black Sun is getting at is some of the founding fathers weren't necessarily trying to get no expression of God. As a matter of fact, they were trying to take God out of it.
That's true. I mean, and like I said, but I'm talking about the original concept of, okay, we're gonna break down the leadership, so it's not just gonna be one guy handling everything, not as a dictator. Because when Moses was the leader, but then they broke it down into different factions. God did that first. See what I'm saying? And that's where we got all of that stuff. So now it breaks down to congressmen and everything and over the area. So it's not just one guy doing this and that. And the serious matters went up to Moses. See what I'm saying? And he wasn't there to dictate, hey, look, man, you got to do what I tell you to do. No, they all were seeking counsel from God. So Moses is like, look, man, I'm just a regular man like y'all, but I'm just a vessel. So I can't get happy and brag on you. But these people these days, and they think that they are like some type of like demigod or something.
So let me ask you, Apex. Like let's get down to the nitty gritty. Should the United States be a theocracy?
Well, yeah, with God as the center, yeah, that was the whole point. What you mean theocracy? I mean, part of my
theocracy meaning should this government be based around the laws of God?
Of course.
Okay.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of
now we getting somewhere.
Uh-oh.
That's the whole point of America, man. Like all of these concepts came from God. Without God, we don't have none of this stuff.
So but hold on, but what about when Thomas Jefferson said they should be separation of church and state?
That's fine. That's just the devil infiltrating. That's not a problem.
But that goes against the theocracy, though.
Of course it does. Hey, look, he's always gonna have enemies. You know, we have a devil down here. That don't mean that what God's way don't work. It just means that there's opposition.
No. But what I'm saying that the foundation of America was not only to have no kings, but no masters, no gods, no masters, no kings. Like the original colony was known as the king haters. You know what I'm saying? And the king who was ordained by God. So they were like, you know what? In order to goddamn circumvent and make sure there's not no central control like that, they said, okay, separation of church and state, because they've already saw the breakdown between King Henry and the Pope. They saw the break. Oh, go ahead.
That's just reactional. You see, that's a reaction. So if you are reacting to somebody, then you overreact. Then, you know, I'm not going to take an overreaction and say that the whole thing is bad because one group of people or one leader out of the many leaders started to overreact to something. So it's like, okay, you want to fix a problem. Oh, we got a mosquito in the house. Let's get a bazooka and take out the room. And then, at least we got the mosquito. And that's what they started doing to, you know, God's principles. They started.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is it's going to be hard pressed for people. I mean, here in America are born under separation of church and state. You're talking about a theocracy. That would be, you talking about like maybe like a Saudi Arabia or like a Iran or like a Yemen. And what I'm telling you, brother, people born into the concept, whether you be a Christian or Muslim or atheist, we were born into separation of church and state, and that's a big difference from a theocratic government.
That's true, but you see, if you had a theocratic government where it was the God of the Bible instead of something else, then it would be a different story. We don't even know what that. The last time we saw that was Israel.
Yeah, and Israel
Back in the day.
outlawed it. They banned it, and China banned it, and so did Japan. They all banned the theocracy. So, but yeah, the last time we saw it was Israel, and they banned that shit. They banned it. They said, "Hell no, this is not working."
No, it's not working because of us. It's not acting like God failed. No, he didn't fail. We failed. And then,
Well,
and then want to blame God.
Well, that's why I'm saying, but that's why I'm saying the theocracy wouldn't work because at the end of the day, it's man interpreting, man enforcing, man. Like if you go over to Saudi Arabia right now, or you go to Iran, they have council of men interpreting the Quran. You know what I mean? They have, and this applies to any religion. You got men interpreting the Bible, they men interpreting the Quran, men interpreting all these different religious books and applying that in real world. And what I'm saying is that, especially in America, I can't speak for any other country. I can't speak for Iran. I can't speak for Saudi Arabia. But for America, we were born, this country was born in separation of church and state.
And that's the problem.
So then if it's a problem, then why don't the theocratic people just move to a theocratic nation? Like there are nations that are theocratic. Like I said, Iran, there's Yemen, there's the United Arab Emirates, there's there's multiple nations that are theocratic. Why change the one nation that's saying we want separation of church and state? Why is America always the focus when you can move to many countries in Africa, you can move to many countries in the Middle East, you can move in multiple countries that have a theocratic government was what I'm saying. Why mess with the only nation that's saying, no, we don't want God in our government? Why mess with America? That's what I have a hard time understanding. Out of all these countries, why they keep messing with America when America was born into separation of church and state?
Well, because look at what's happening.
But this happens in every country, though. Gideon, come on, man. Every country. So you're saying there's a perfect utopia somewhere?
Well, it's gonna be. It used to be, and it's gonna be.
Oh,
but
come on, man. We can't do that, though, brother. We can't do that.
Hey, look, we're sinners, man, and God warned us. When you do this, this is gonna happen.
Okay,
and
so
now it's happening, and now we're like, Dad, why is this happening?
Okay, so Gideon, can you give me one example of something bad happening, like a sin that happens here in America that don't happen any other where in any other country in the world?
No, I'm not gonna say that. It's not. We all got the same type of sin, but one sin.
Right, because a lot of these things are human nature, and
yeah.
Man. Now, I would agree. Now, there are some things that are universal that like we can get along with, like an atheist nation like China or like Cuba. Like we shouldn't murder each other. We shouldn't steal from each other. These are universals. These are not just biblical or Islamic or Abrahamic laws. These are just universal laws that human beings have always lived by. No, nobody wants to live in a society where we're all eating each other or bashing each other over the head or stealing from each other. This is just common sense. Now, where the theocratic, okay.
Who made that?
Huh?
I said, who made that? Whose idea was that?
That's man's idea. That's just men.
No, that's God's idea.
Okay, so let's go back to separation of church and state. So where do we break down? So how do we know? Because I always ask this when people that come from theocratic countries. How do we know that God says A, B, and C? Okay, we read the Bible, but there's many interpretations of the Bible. There's like over 666 different denominations. There's over 666 different type of languages. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So, and everybody in every denomination always say, "Oh no, we're the true ones. We got the right interpretation. We're the true believers of God."
Well, I'll put it like this. Right now, there's one sin that if we was to stop doing, everything will get corrected. If we were to stop fornicating, that one sin, which everybody will agree that is something that God said. Don't fornicate. Stop having sex outside of marriage. Everything will get changed. Everything will get better. All of the pain
because there's a lot of people who don't have sex at all and that are problematic. You got people that don't have.
Enough. No, no, I'm talking about you need it on a mass level, not one guy over somewhere. You know, I'm not talking about like the 40-year-old virgin or something like that. I'm talking about in mass. Right now, that means that if you stop fornicating, then people would choose their husbands and their wives wisely, and they would do it early, like how it's supposed to be. Like when puberty hits, nature tells you when things are supposed to happen. It's no mystery. When you're young, your love is pure. You don't have experience that taints you. So now when you choose a wife, like my first love, I loved her. And every man is gonna say the same thing. You see what I'm saying? But
so let me ask you. I gotta ask you a question because you're saying because of fornication. So Russia invaded Ukraine because of fornication?
no, that's the after result. It's the after result. Right now, you know, fornication, covetousness, there's a whole bunch of different things going on. Pride. These are all things that are sins. But if you was to stop fornicating, our families would be stronger. We wouldn't be worrying about dumb stuff. Everything would be a whole lot better. Family structure would be strong. Our boys would be raised smart and masculine. The women would be feminine and soft. You know, all of these things, it'll solve everybody's problem. We are dealing with the curses.
I can't agree with that, but okay, I'm
That's
listening.
fine. That's fine. Hey, look,
Yeah.
we are all dealing with the effects and the curses of fornication. Pretty much. Pride is another one. I'm not even talking about pride. That's a whole nother. But you know, fornication. If you use to get rid of fornication, it'll correct itself probably within like 10 to 15, 20 years.
Okay, so how do you propose to get rid of fornication?
Well, that's another.
Let's
That's
talk
a
about
whole other ball game.
No, because that involves the theocratic government. Let's talk about it.
Well,
because
how? Okay, well,
okay, let's talk about it.
Well, the father, the mother, the daughters would not leave their father's house unless there's a husband to give her away to.
Okay, kind of like Iran. Iran has that same type of thing. You know,
Yeah,
Iran
and all that.
Okay, but you know, Iran, you know, they have a pretty tight. Would you agree that Iran has a pretty tight knit system on fornication and all that?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about Iran. I can't tell you about them and speak intelligently about. I don't know nothing what's going on over there, anything like that.
I can tell you. Okay, well, I can tell you that they have a very tight system. In fact, the women, they wear hijabs. They wear hijabs. You can't even see their ankles. You can some of them you can't even see their eyes. So, but they're still having problems over there. They still getting, people being hung and people murdering and all that. They still have the same problem, but they have a chokehold on the fornication. But they're still having problems. Saudi
because
Arabia,
of pride.
another country, they have a chokehold on fornication too, but they're still having problems. They still have poverty. They still have terrorists, fanatical, religious fanatics. So I mean, how do you? In fact, you go from one extreme to another extreme. Where I think that these men, they don't have women, they don't get none, and they become fanatical.
But they're also Muslim.
Right, but what I'm saying is that religion can be dangerous not only with Islam.
No, Islam. I see. You see, you're talking about a whole other God, man. Like I'm talking about the God of the Bible. If you had a country that was following the principles of the Bible to the best of their ability, that stuff's not going to be happening like that.
But see, again, that's why I said we're born under separation of church and state. If you have a real theocratic government, then the government is interpreting the Bible for you at that point. You're not interpreting it. The government, it's their job to interpret. It's their job to enforce. It is their job to contact the Most High and get his so-called approval on things. And we have no way of verifying that. That's a real theocracy.
Well, that's a good question. Who's gonna enforce those laws of God? Who's gonna do that?
Well, it's supposed to be the government, like how Israel is supposed to do it.
That's a theocracy.
Yeah, and remember, like Israel got infiltrated because of their sin. Jezebel came through and she brought in her religion, and next thing you know, they started doing child sacrifices and getting abortions and everything and worshiping other gods. And this happened throughout all of Israel's history. The perfect example is ancient Israel. That's supposed to be the example that we're supposed to be using, and how Israel fell and how they got up again, and they fell and they got up again and they fell. A righteous king will come in, and then they would raise up. Then an evil king will come in, and then they fall. And then wash, rinse, repeat. Now, if you don't start talking about other gods, then I can't vouch for them at all.
Okay, but okay, go ahead, D. I'm sorry.
Real quick, I was going to ask him. So, is a good example of that is the state of Israel right now?
Oh, nah. See, they bugging now. Like they don't even accept the Messiah in large. Like, of course they got segments of people that do, but overall they don't even accept the Messiah.
So who should be? You said the government should be the one enforcing it. Who should be in the government?
Well, like I said, the people of God. The people of God that God picks, and then the system that he raises up, we're supposed to follow it, and then it'll be perfect.
How God picking anybody to do anything?
Well, that's the whole thing. See, we don't even understand how that looks like, so that's why it sounds crazy, because we don't even know what it means to be spiritual, So it's like it sounds crazy, but it shouldn't sound crazy. The reason why it sounds crazy is because the damage has already been done. So now we can't even fathom these bullet points,
But how do we measure another man's spirituality? How do we do that?
With the Bible, and it's actually really simple. It's really simple, but then we're the ones that overcomplicate it and then get dogmatic about it. It wasn't dogmatic in the text. It would tell you straight up, okay, yo, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. And then they got crazy, and then things had to change, and then God let the evil play out because he gives us free choice. So he lets the evil play out because of us. He wanted to give us autonomy so where we can make a free decision, follow the option that he lays.
Gideon, I got a question.
Yeah.
Ruled. How the fuck you gonna overrule the Constitution? Defense, keep the defendant silent.
Yeah.
That Bible's unconstitutional, Gideon.
You said the Bible
is unconstitutional.
Oh, well, that's the problem. Like I said,
we got to get rid of the Constitution?
Nah, put it like this. This is going to be the problem. This is why America's gonna have to fall. It's gonna have to fall.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, look, it done turned into Sodom.
Wait a minute, hold up. Whoa. When did it turn into Sodom? Wait a minute. No, Gideon, come on, man. Wait a minute, you lost me. When did it turn into Sodom?
When Obama made gay marriage legal.
But we've had gay people since King James, man. What
okay, but when you make it legal, it's a whole nother ballgame. You're basically rewriting. You're rewriting the country's core, and our families are what? Are mud right now, aren't they? Yeah, these are all curses. All of these things. These are the line of the curses that we're falling for. To even show you that God is he's all powerful and he's sovereign.
Okay, hold on, Gideon. Is the Bible unconstitutional?
Is the Bible unconstitutional? Now it is.
But hold on. You said you wanted a theocracy.
Yeah.
The Constitution specifically says it talks about separation of church and state. Doesn't that go against God's teaching in the Bible? Because Okay, so then the Bible's unconstitutional.
So I'm not going to follow the Constitution. I'm going to follow God's word. Like, what are you going to? I mean, I know what I'm following.
Ruled. How the fuck you gonna overrule the Constitution, man? Keep the defendant silent.
How you going to? Hey, look. When the Constitution goes against the Bible, bye Constitution.
There has been too much violence, too much pain. Not here without sin. But I have an honorable compromise. Just walk away. Give me the pump, the oil, the gasoline, and the whole compound, and I spare you lives. Just walk away. I will give you safe passage in the wasteland. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror.
So you believe in the Constitution, MD?
Hell yeah. Got to. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a constitutionalist, man. Like Trump, baby. Damn, you talking good.
Yeah, well, hey, man, the Constitution loses me when it goes against the Bible, period.
Oh, man. Damn. Oh, man.
Bible first.
But the Bible, man, it violates your constitutional rights.
Well, like I said, people thinking that they got rights above God, that's the problem.
Oh, damn.
Oh, God, you gonna tell God I have a right to do whatever? God will take your life right then and there, and it's his life to take, so he can't even be a murderer. God could end all of us right now, and it wouldn't even be a crime.
All I'm saying, it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. It's a hard sell.
Of course it is, because look at the world. Look at the shape of the world we're in right now. This place is messed up. So, of course, they done forgot about God. They made their own ways. So now you reintroduce God. It's like it's a culture shock. So what do you expect?
But a lot of the people came to the country fleeing the theocracies. They fled the theocratic countries in Africa, the Middle East, Europe, Asia.
Did they flee Christian? Truly Christians? Yes. No.
Yeah.
They fled crazy, like England. They went crazy. King George was going crazy. King George.
King George.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
Well, King George was trying to tax the hell out of us. That's why he got away from King George.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
They agreed. They agreed with the Christianity part. They didn't have no, well, see.
So you're a Constitution guy, huh? So basically, do you think it's like some type of it's just a deep, artifact? It's a deep, well put together document.
The Constitution is the best document on the planet going right now until somebody can show me something better.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about that, man.
I mean,
it has a lot of good in it, and it gets a lot of its things out of biblical. It's been influenced by the Bible and everything. But there was a lot of Masons. There were a lot of Masonic things up in there too.
You do know
why you keep saying that?
Huh?
I said you keep saying that the Constitution was like written off. True.
Say that again.
Am I breaking up?
You good now? Go ahead. In the D.
Oh, hey, go ahead, Blackstone. I'm finna log back into my laptop. Give me a sec.
Oh, okay. Tenfold. You said about the Masons.
The Masons, yeah.
So were some of the Masons, some of the Masons were atheists, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and a lot of them, they worship the devil, literally, like Lucifer.
I mean, okay, so but I'm confused though. I mean, you say the Masons they
Yeah.
helped form this, so then they were trying to. I guess they were trying to come together under just being free. Because, like you said, yeah, some of them were Satanists, some of them were Christians, some of them were atheists, and so
But
they. Go ahead. Go ahead.
you can't be a real Christian and be a Mason. You know what I mean? I mean,
Okay, that's fine.
You could be a fake Christian because ultimately the Masons, they like worshiping Lucifer, the light bearer, and they are worshiping him. But after you reach a certain degree or a level in their in their structure, then they tell you, oh yeah, we worship the devil.
So we should dismiss the Constitution because it was written by devil worshippers.
Well, they had a hand in it. They had a hand in it. I'm not trying. The Constitution has a lot of good stuff in it. Don't get me wrong, man.
Okay.
It has a lot of biblical. It was influenced by a lot of biblical bullet points and doctrines and stuff. You know.
Nah, I
You
disagree
keep
with that.
saying that. You keep saying that. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, I'm not saying all of it. Of course not. You know. I mean, people voting. You know, and everything. This is democratic and it's really supposed to be a republic first off. You know.
Right.
Yeah, it's a constitutional republic.
Yeah. And they don't really hold it at even now.
No, but hold on. You said okay. I'm not going to even debate you on that because I somewhat agree on that. But what I'm trying to understand is why do we need a theocratic government in place when you have all these other theocratic countries? Why does it not move to these other theocratic countries? Why not try to establish a theocracy in another country? Because it's going to be hard pressed to do it in America.
So you think you could be successful without God, man?
Yeah, this country has actually been pretty successful the way it is with the Constitution.
Man, it's going down. It's about to go down up in this country, man.
Yeah, but they've been saying that for the last 100 years, man. Oh, America's going down.
You don't see the decline, man?
Nah, they said it every generation.
Nah, man. Right now, right now, all of this unmerited handouts and favoritism and all of these things going on. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, all of that stuff.
Capitalism.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Like welfare and everything, that's biblical. Taking care of the poor, that's biblical.
You got to break that down.
Well, remember in the law, God's law says that when you're cutting your lawn, you're supposed to give a certain part and leave it for the poor, the land. God always had provisions for the widows and the fatherless and the poor.
Wait a minute now. A minute now. You about to make white son. That sounds like socialism to me there.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not socialism when God is in the center of it. But if you want to take God out, then yeah.
But God ain't got nothing to do with my income. If I make the money, it belongs to me.
It belongs to you.
Yes,
So
sir.
can you keep your whatever wealth you get if God didn't want you to have it? You think you could force God to make you you could force God to do anything?
Well, you say the Bible's this documentation that I have to make the money and give it to people who are not working. Am I understanding this thing correctly here?
Yeah, ultimately, yeah. You do that because out of love, and so a certain part of your crops you would leave a certain part for the poor, the land. Everybody did that, so there was always something to eat.
How about leaving opportunity for the poor so they can make their own money? Where's that at in the Bible?
That's up in there too. Like right now, you could when you would hire when you would hire a servant and they could earn their way up, And
indentured servitude.
Well, it's employment.
Indentured servitude.
I call it employment, just to be employment.
See, now you sound like a goddamn communist there, Gideon. You were doing good, okay? Now you sound like one of these goddamn.
Hey, you can't put it in a box. You can't put it in a box, man. It's employment. Like right now, Abraham, he had a lot of.
You sound like a Maoist right now. You sound like Mao Zedong right now.
No, but you see, you give them a choice. You say, hey, look, you wanna do this? It's a contract. It's contractual. You work for me for this amount of years, and you pay back or whatever. And then after that, if you want to stay with me, you could, and if not, I'll let you go.
Indentured servitude.
Well, like when you work, you went to the job, right? And your job takes care of you, right?
Yeah, but I can leave whenever I want.
Exactly.
For a better wage.
But yeah, you can leave for a better wage. That's true. But with the Bible, you would make a decision for X amount of time. So it's still on you. It's just that you just have to, be wise about who you choose.
But if it's on me, then I should be able to choose if I want to give or not. That should just be free choice. You agree with that?
Well, no, but you would make it say, okay, I'm going to work for you for 3 years, and if anything happens, I get paid for. If I meet a wife or whatever, if I gain a wife and everything, then the master or the boss would take care of you. It's not going to be go to work and with whips and all that other stuff. Nah, you can't do that. If you even damaged anybody, you had to pay for it. And the Bible commanded if you damage a slave or your employee, that you had to. It's compensation. It ain't no, oh, you ain't nothing. You ain't. No. It was a job.
Hey, listen to this. Listen to this comment. She said, you know who used the government to push their religious government? White Christian nationalists, whom you support by default. Do you agree with that statement?
I'm with God, man. It's gonna sound like I'm gonna be everywhere because God is foreign. The Bible says that our minds, man's mind has been alienated from the things of God. So it's like it's gonna sound crazy. I'm gonna sound here. I'm gonna sound like this. I'm gonna sound like that because these things have not been exercised in the minds of the people. So you got atrophy, mind atrophy about the things of God. It's alienated to them, So it's strange to them. It sounds strange, but God is an extra dimensional being. We can't fathom extra dimensional. You wouldn't know what to do if a 4-dimensional thing was to come here right now. You wouldn't even know. You couldn't even make it out.
So then based on that, then there should be no theocratic government, because if we can't fathom, then that means we don't even know.
Oh, nah, let's not let's not get tricky with it, man.
I'm serious. I mean, there's no check and
balance. He said you did a 3-card money, black son.
Real tricky, the 3-card money. Move over there. Follow the car.
No, what I'm saying is there in a okay, I'm no 3-card money. How will there be a check and balance in this theocratic government?
You have to go to the Bible. You want me to break it down for you thoroughly right now? Like, nah, I'm not gonna be able to break it down thoroughly. But basically, you follow God's dictates, and then you can't fail. That's the short answer. Now, if you want me to give you a long answer so you could try to, I don't know, do a 3-card money me, man.
Again, Gideon, man, the Bible is unconstitutional. It's going to be a hard thing to sell.
Because you think that man has a right against his own creator, the person that made matter. How can you argue against the person that is the creator of matter and time and space? You're going to argue against that being? You think that you have a right? What did we do?
I would.
You would? Well, then.
Yes. But let me tell you why. Because when the Constitution was made, you had men from different representatives from different states, and they were trying to balance out the power. Remind you, these guys, one thing they had in common, they hated the king rule, they hated the king's taxes, they hated all that. They hated not only King George, they hated goddamn King Charles. They hated all these people. They hated the church. They did not like no rule over them. And so when they came together, the Constitution wasn't overnight. They had to write this thing to where it balanced out fairness between the states. Because even the states, they felt like certain states was better than Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was like the slum. You know, you had Virginia. They felt like they were the, the best people because Washington came from there. So the Constitution went through these trials. The Bible is ancient. That's an ancient book. It's outdated. That's why I can't really, I can go only by the most recent, there's the Constitution was born out of a revolution longing for freedom. Now the Bible, from what I read, it does the opposite. It oppresses women. It oppresses. People.
Come on! Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'm serious.
It oppresses women.
I can take you to a verse where where God says, if those people don't believe in me and this and that, I'm paraphrasing. Go in there and kill the women, kill the men, kill the children, and even kill the dogs. So God was talking about genocide.
But what's the part that you're missing?
The part I'm missing is that, because they can't serve God. Because they're not serving me. Okay, who's the same?
No, you're missing that. That's not the part you're missing.
Okay. What am I missing?
These are not even fully human people. These are. See, this is where you're not going to believe, but these are entities that invaded this plane of existence, and they didn't belong here. So God used his sovereign right to say, "Nah, get them out of here. I didn't bring them here." The Nephilim and the giants, and these people had giant DNA. See, all of this stuff is going to come to light right now when they start. When the Catholic Church is going to be talking about aliens and all that stuff is going to come out soon. So right now it's going to sound a little crazy, but it's going to get supernatural very soon.
And Gideon, there's similar men that did similar things. You know, by a man by the name of Adolf Hitler. And a man by the name of Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin, Pol Pot.
But Hitler is a man. Hitler's a man, and right now I can't decide for you to die because I didn't know what it took.
But the Bible tells you to kill the unbelievers. It tells you that.
Yes,
in the Bible.
If God tells me to kill you, then I'm going to kill you.
So then people in America are going to have problem with that because we're born into freedom. We're born in, like I said, under the Constitution, where all men are created equal, where we the people have the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The Bible does not guarantee that. So that's why I said the Bible is an unconstitutional book.
So the Bible does. So basically, the God that created you doesn't know what it takes for you to. You have to figure out your own happiness, and He doesn't know.
I believe you do have to figure out your own happiness.
So when God made a thing, like if I make a BMW, I don't know what it takes to keep the BMW running at optimal capacity. So some other guy's gonna come and put Hyundai parts in a BMW. And that's supposed to work. And then when it doesn't work, I'm gonna get mad at BMW because I wanted to buy Hyundai parts and install it in a BMW, and then because it's cheaper, and then when it breaks down, then I'm mad at BMW. This is the equivalent.
Okay, so I'm glad you use that analogy because I used to work on cars. So the vehicle is a SS Chevelle. And the SS Chevelle is ran by a 454 block called the Constitution. So why are we putting this foreign Bible in my 66 Chevelle? Because the 66 Chevelle runs just fine under the Constitution. So why do I need this Bible in the theocratic government when the government is running just fine?
Hey, well, like I said, it's going to reveal itself. like it's going to be a lot of arguments. It's going to be a lot of counter arguments and debates and everything. But the time is going to reveal all things, and we're going to see how. We're going to see how. You look at all of the rights we lost already that the Constitution couldn't protect. Look at the Patriot Act. How did that happen? We don't even have rights no more. So they used their amendments to amend away our rights instead of making them better and refining our rights. Now they done took it on out because they was able to manipulate it and to trick the people and mass deception and smoke and mirrors. Now all of a sudden we got the Patriot Act. What do you think about the Patriot Act?
So what you're saying, and I'm not going to disagree. So what you're saying is they're violating our constitutional rights.
Yeah,
because they feel like we don't know them. A lot of people don't know their constitutional rights. MD did a show tonight because he had to explain that the Supreme Court ruled on something that was unconstitutional. Now you got black people out here that want to do reverse racism based on their emotions, but they're not understanding that the Constitution was supposed to not only protect us against the white supremacists and white supremacy, but against black supremacy and black supremacy and black people who feel like, oh, we're going to do what the white man did to us. Case in point, the Hebrew Israelites, they believe that we should enslave the white man because, they enslaved us. But the Constitution protects us from all that. It protects us from anybody being enslaved in this country.
Hey, look.
Christianity doesn't guarantee that, and neither does this. In fact, Christianity condones slavery.
Come on, stop it. Stop it.
Yes.
Come on, stop it, man. Come on. You gotta get your studying right, man.
Black son, I can't let you put that on Apex. Apex a New Testament Christian. I can't.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I can't let you.
Okay. Okay.
I can't let you do that to
Even in the Old Testament, it was employment.
Uh-oh. See, he said you with the New Testament. Come on now, Gideon. Come on.
Nah, even in the Old Testament, it was employment. When Israel, it was contractual employment.
Uh-oh.
My bad. My fault, Black son. My fault.
Uh-oh.
And he said,
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you close that. I'm gonna get ready to close it out in a minute. Unless y'all want to keep chopping it up.
Oh no, man, Gideon, you gotta come back, man. Because we gotta, we gotta get rest. But man, we gotta.
Hey, look, I gotta get brushed up.
You ain't gotta get brushed up, man. You did good, brother. You did good. Just man.
Nah, but I had to exercise those old memory muscles, So, because usually if I was on point, I could have dare I say shot you down, but I wasn't able to do that tonight. So,
hey, and other than that, man, what you been up to, Apex, man? For real, I ain't talked to you in a long time, bro.
Yo, B, I'm still here, thank God, and it's the same old stuff. We had a special thing years ago.
Yeah, we did, man. We did.
We used to come on Skype and everything and be talking. What we was doing, we could have flipped that in this whole stream game. Who knows where we'd be at right now, man?
I say that to myself all the time.
Because we was on Skype.
I say that to myself all the time.
We would have been the fourth for all these conversations that they're having now about the ballot of sex. I made a video talking about that. You see that video I made?
You made a video recently?
Yeah.
I ain't see it.
I put it in the chat right now. I want you to check it out, man. The whole battle of the sexes and the manosphere and everything. I'll be watching them.
Uh-oh.
And
I might have just a place for you.
I mean, and here we go right here. This is the link. I want you guys to check it out. And tell me what you think, man. And leave a comment.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I say that to myself all the time, bro. What if we would have stuck to the whole sin thing, man? Hell, we'd be millionaires by now, man.
Possibly, but no. But see, we couldn't have did it with the sim standard. I'm talking about the Skype thing because EA infiltrated us, B.
Yeah.
EA infiltrated us, and ultimately, I got pulled away from that.
Yeah, I did too. I just got disinterested.
And God was pulling me away from it when I was doing it. You saw me when I was trying to get into the more deep topics. And you know what I'm saying? And he was pulling me away when I was doing it. But you see how they infiltrated and they started flying people out. Next thing you know, so that needed to happen. I'm thankful because I would hate to have 1 million subs and have to be beholden to companies and a whole bunch of sub people that's like, yo, man, make that video game about modern warfare where you're shooting people. Like I actually wouldn't want that,
right.
Or I even feel you, man, after all of these things that's going on right now, we in the last days. I'm sitting here talking about and breaking down thoroughly video game football, 1 or 2, 3 videos. Yeah, they want you to make 4 or 5 videos a week. At least.
But you still in the 2K though, aren't you? You still into that?
Yeah, in and out.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got MLB The Show, and I got Street Fighter, and I got 2K. Those are the 3 games I got right now. And I just started playing 2K recently, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. Yeah. I dabble in Madden here. My kids play Madden, so I dabble in Madden here and there, man. But am I interested to break down play? Nah, man. I'm good.
I ain't gonna front. That new Madden, they getting close.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
With the blocking, this the basic elements of football. How the blocks is going out and actually being smart. That right there, that seems pretty, and then all the thing where they free up the catching so that you can run out your top speed going for a catch instead of them slowing you down. It's gonna open the field up. But we'll see.
Hey man, the most improved thing to me is player movement is what we used to talk about in player movement, in my opinion, is there right now.
Yeah. Last year, the running. I think I made a video about that, or I might have put it on Twitter or something. When I was talking about the run animations, I can't speak on it no more.
Yeah, it's done. Player movement is where we want it, like right now. It's there, bro.
The AI is so dumb, man. The blocking is dumb. The even the one thing they gotta fix is the O line, like how it moves. Like it's still
it's still symmetrical. It's symmetrical as hell. Like
like a wall instead of it being closed, collapsing chaos and I forgot how we used to call it,
yeah, man. Like it's still unified O-line interactions. They do all of that, bro.
Yeah.
Let me stop, man. You're gonna get me inspired, man. I don't want.
Hey, that's good. Man. When I go to work, man, the number one thing to me, I said it in that video, the battle of the sexes is the biggest problem we got right now. Is these women that think that they're 50-50 with men. That is destroying them because they're not meant to be like that. And now it's the same thing that the devil did in the Garden of Eden. He went to Eve, he put a battery in her back. Right now, the powers that be in this empire of America is they put the battery in the back of our women, and they think that they don't need a man. While they live in a house that a man built, that police protect them, the plumber fixed their everything that they do. Men creates a space for them, and then after all of that, they say, "Oh, we don't need a man." And not to mention, they need a man's mind to govern them every day. Every day, if a woman don't have a man around them, their minds degrade to chaos, man.
Hey, Black Son, I think we done found our manosphere counterpart, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I got a little piece of that.
Yes, sir. Immediately.
Hey, look, look, man. if I'm the devil, I'm gonna take a little piece of everything and I'm gonna put everything together and try to make a weapon that is gonna have a piece of everything. But all of these inspirations that things that what we would call good come from God. So this group of people is gonna get this one thing from God, and then they're gonna pollute it and surround it with everything that's garbage. Then this group of people over here, they're gonna get this one thing from God, and then they're gonna pollute it with a whole bunch of other garbage that they thought of over here. So everybody is mixing and matching and cherry picking. And so what a Christian's supposed to do is they're supposed to undo that. Like, okay, this is the part that you took from God, that's good, and then all this other garbage that you added on, I'm throwing that away. I think that's one of the duties of Christians, in my opinion.
No doubt, man.
Because I don't believe I don't believe in throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and I'll end it with that.
I appreciate you coming on, bro. You just don't know, man. Like
Yeah,
you brought back memories, bro.
Hey, man, I'm happy. I be wanting to talk. I miss those days in Skype. We used to be real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Skype was the days, man.
Yo, B, come on. We had a lot of people, and we was a lot of interesting conversation, and we could have took that, and we would have, man. Where would we be today, man?
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. Yeah, it's a few people that's still around. Like I don't talk to them per se. I follow Jay on Twitter, but
Okay.
Jay, Jay Music, man, he out there, man.
I can imagine, man. I was trying to rein them in. Even in that video that I made, a lot of them showed up. Like B5 showed up, put him in the game. He left a message, and there's some other people. I don't remember some of them, but B5 and put it in the game. Put him in the game.
Yeah. I talked to Fife, man. I think that's the most recent person I talked to with Fife, man. I talked to Fife like maybe a couple months ago. I talked to him on Xbox.
Okay, cool. For real? Yeah. I'm on Xbox too. Get in Prime my Xbox, man.
Yeah. He hit me up out of nowhere on Xbox. I was like, damn, I'm like, this B5? Like, yeah, what's happening? I was like, damn. I ain't talking to you. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a couple of people still around, man.
So AKA,
like I said, they doing their own thing.
Is AKA B5 on Xbox?
I ain't on it right now. I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Because he hit me.
Yeah.
Like I've been friends with him on Xbox forever.
Yeah.
He hit me up, man, just to chop it up, man. Talk about some of the old stuff, man. That's the most recent person I talked to. Like I said, you can always get in touch with Ryan Moody. Like he ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? He the last of the Mohicans, man. You can count on him for Madden every year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So he's still making a video.
Yeah. Ryan Moody still make videos.
Wow.
He the last one. You know what I mean? He's still in there.
Well, that was his passion.
Yeah.
He loved to talk about the whole. That was his passion.
He's still breaking down plays even to this day, man. This day.
Hey, man, we started. He may have looked at it as a way of imagine wanting to say something but not knowing what to say.
Yeah, I think.
Because that's when it just dawned on me when I first got on the internet. I had my iPhone and I just made a video, and then it just blew up. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't planning that to happen, and then I said, "Yo, I'm gonna make another one." It just dawned on me like that. I got my phone. I was mad at the game, and I made a video,
right.
And everybody just related. You know what I'm saying? So it just happened.
Right.
So he must have been like, "Hey, man, I could do this," and then he just probably took it to the next level.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Sim Standard's still out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Sim Standard's still out there.
Yo, check that video out, man. Let me know what you think about it, man.
Hey, I'm gonna look at it tonight. Like I said, I ain't know you made no video recently.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
3 weeks ago, man. The masculine feminist war is much deeper than you think.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, man. Hey, don't be no stranger, man. Like I said, we now we simulcasting. You know, I used to be on the Arena channel exclusive, but we simulcasting now. So,
Yo,
hey,
I'm
don't be
there.
no stranger, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna come back. I love this conversation. We gonna chop it up on a regular, cause like, yo, I'll be bored. I come home.
Yeah, yeah. You still at Harlem Hospital?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm still at Harlem Hospital. I come home from work. I'll be bored, man, and I'll be like, "Dag, I don't want to go to sleep yet." I'll be trying to go to like, let me see what's on YouTube, yo. And I'll be watching all these people now. I'll be in the manosphere, and it'd be like, they get, they be having points, but they get too caught up with money, man.
I feel you, man. Hey, that's YouTube
red
these
pill,
days, man.
Red pill. The red pill is just, oh my gosh, get money, get money, get money. And it's like, what you gonna do when the mark of the beast come around? they going to hell, like, because they love money.
I got you, Apex, man. Yeah, we finna get up out of here. It's 11:30, man. I'm
man.
about to go to sleep, bro.
MD, I'm gonna get back at you probably later on in the week, man.
Yeah. Hey, just
when you be on. When you be on?
Every Tuesday and Thursday is like our regular time.
Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah, like around 6:30.
Yep.
Cool. I'm gonna be
Hey, but I can hit you up. I can hit you up on Facebook, man. You know, I still got you on Facebook, man.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah. If I do something sporadic, man, I'll hit you up and let you know.
Yeah, and I'll be on Twitter. I don't be on Facebook like that, but I still got Facebook.
Yeah. I think I got you on Twitter too. I think.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, man. Yeah. We gonna chop it up, man. We gonna chop it up. We definitely gonna chop it up.
Yo, so you have a good night, and what's your name again over there?
Black
Sun. Yeah. Black. Good to meet you, man. I know
we're
gonna have some interesting combos, man.
Hey man, it's always a pleasure to meet another MAGA.
Hey, yeah, I'm MAGA. I did vote for Trump and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he was the best choice, and I like the fact that he was a man, yo.
Absolutely.
He meant what he said, and he was a sharpshooter. He was just like, yo, man, you kill, he'll call your nonsense out right in front of you.
Well, hey man, I want to definitely see you on Tuesday and Thursdays, because we be discussing a lot of politics, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see, get your take, man. I like to get your take on a lot of these politics, man, because we be breaking this shit down, bro.
Cool. Hey, and you guys gonna get me brushed up, but with me it's Bible first, man. I'm living and dying with the Bible, B. That's me. Living and dying with the Bible.
You're conservative at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, you could call it that. That's cool, But I'm dying with the Bible, B. That's it. And anything else that's like it, I'm gonna say, okay, it's like the Bible, so I'll give it its props. But whenever it leaves the Bible, I'm leaving right with anything that leaves the Bible. That's when I'm out. That's when I get off the bus.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Well, like I said, man, I definitely hit you up, man, let you know. But yeah, every Tuesday and Thursday, we usually on around 6:30. So if you be off work by then, man, come through, man. Chop it up with me.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, peace, Apex, man. I appreciate it, bro. You have no idea, bro.
Yeah, man.
You just made my night, man. You just made my night.
Yeah, I tried to come on last time. I tried to come on last time. I didn't know if I could come on, and I didn't want to derail the convo,
Oh, no, man. Hey, this the Arena Uncensored, man. Anything goes. Anything, bro. Anything goes, man.
Yeah, he ain't lying. He's the truth.
Fellas, once again, good night, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, Apex. I'm going to hit you up, man.
No doubt. I'm here.
All right, man. Peace. All right, man. There you have it, man.
Man, I can't wait to have him back on, man. Oh my God, man. That's conversations, man. That's what the arena's about, man. That right there, shoot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. We definitely get him on again.
I told you he was a hardcore Christian. I told you that shit.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah,
You know?
that's my brother, man. That's my brother, man. Like
Hey,
back in the day, man, about
any Christian that vote for Trump gets a pass with me.
Yeah, man, no doubt, man. So yeah, we about to get up out of. I supposed to bingo. I don't know. Apex went on, man, and took it all the way left.
Hey, I loved it. I loved it, man. I was thoroughly entertained, man. I loved it, man. I can't wait till we have another conversation. I want to get more deep into these politics and these policies. That's what I want. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Christian conversation is cool and all, and the Bible's cool, but I want to see where his politics are at, man. That's what I want to see.
Well, you know where his politics at. Apex said America should be a theocracy.
Oh. Well, you know how to be, MD. I'm talking about like foreign policy. Foreign policy. I'm sorry.
No doubt, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate him for coming through, bro. You just don't know.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Yang in the chat. Look at Yang.
Oh, man, Yang a late boy. That's just boy, I tell you. Boy, I tell you, Yang a late as hell, man.
I made this whole damn show because of Yang, and now you talking about good show.
Oh, you don't want to go. God damn, Yanga. This show is dedicated to you, man. God damn. All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hey, I'll catch you on the next one then, Yanga. I'll catch you on the next.
Shout out to Yanga, man. Shout out to Yanga.
But yeah, man. Yeah, I was not expecting to be on here for this long, but it's all good.
Man, it was a good show, man. Shout out to Apex, man. I don't know why he thought he was rusty. He did good. Shit, he did what he was supposed to do, man. Shout out to Apex, man. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Well, so what we used to do, just to give a backdrop, I said just to give a backdrop real quick before I get on. So before StreamYard and Google Hangouts and all that, we all used to get together and get on Skype call. We'd be on Skype call about 15 deep on the Skype call.
That's what I'm talking about.
It'll start off talking about Matt. Like that's how we'll start. Then that shit'll just go left and we'll just start debate about different shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so that's what he was saying. He was like, damn, man, what have we would have been if we would have like stuck to it? You know what I'm saying? I think about that shit sometimes.
Hey.
I'm like, hell, we was doing StreamYard before StreamYard was a thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So yeah, man. So yeah, you know, it's all good, man. Like I said, you know, I always looked up to him like as a mentor as far as a lot of the shit that we did. Like Apex was the one that started a lot of this like the whole man thing on YouTube. He started in my eyes, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you know, for a lot of us, we looked up to him like a big bro.
Yes,
but yeah, man, I ain't talked to the dude in years, man. That made my night. I'm gonna go to sleep happy tonight. I'm gonna go to sleep happy.
Hell yeah.
But in any event, yeah, Yang, we'll chop it up on the next one. I hope you go back and look at the beginning. The beginning is the part where I'm addressing like what you said. But I ain't really get it all the way into it. And when Apex came on, like I said, it went left. But it's cool. It's cool. I ain't even tripping, man. But tomorrow I'm off, so I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Like
shit.
I don't know what the hell I'm.
Well, Yanga, if you off tomorrow, yeah, let's do
I think Yanga said he do. I think Yanga said he doing the show tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I heard him say that earlier.
Okay. Yeah, man.
So we might do a hostile takeover on Yanga show tomorrow.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm ambushing that Negro.
Yeah, man. Goddamn. Yeah, the far right's coming for you, Yanga.
Yeah. Liberty coming for you.
Yes, sir.
Liberty.
Coming for you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Freedom at your doorstep tomorrow, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Freedom. So yeah, man. So yeah, if Yanga do his show, yeah, we might pull up over there and
I'm with it.
Other than that, I don't know. I might end up doing maybe a free to choose tomorrow. I don't know. I'll see. Because like I said, tomorrow I literally ain't got nothing to do. All day.
Same here.
So yeah, man, that's what's up with what, man. Like I said, it's damn near 12 o'clock. I'm going to sleep.
Oh shit! Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We up out of here, y'all, man. Yeah, he said, "Oh damn."
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know. I thought it was like 10 o'clock. Oh man, I'm off.
No, bro, it's a quarter till, man. Hey, we up out of here, y'all. We'll see y'all. Oh damn, tomorrow. What? Tomorrow Tuesday, right?
Yeah, tomorrow Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh shit, we got arena this week tomorrow. Oh shit.
Oh shit, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So yeah, we got arena this week tomorrow, and like I said, I may end up doing a free to choose like earlier that day. I don't know. I'll see.
All right.
But all right, y'all. I'm gone.
All right. Peace out. We out.